Well, hello everybody. Those people who we have on, I'm a couple of minutes early. I'm Scott Whitfield. I'm going to play a little bit of banjo for you here. Going to play a little tenor, a little plectrum. We're going to do some traditional jazz and banjo tunes. We're going to do some pop tunes, believe it or not. Maybe even a rock and roll tune. And going to also do some originals that I wrote. So I'm looking forward to having a great little hour here. I want to thank John Mumford for what he's doing with the Jazz Banjo Radio Showcase here, allowing a lot of us to get out to a lot of you, especially during this time. So I'll kick it off with an old tune that I first learned on the banjo. A lot of people don't learn this tune typically first, but it's one that taught myself back when I first started playing the banjo. And got a quick story to tell you too before I get started here. I was a teenager, 17-year-old, in Wichita Falls, Texas, and was offered a job at a Shakey's Pizza Parlor 6 nights a week. And unbeknownst to me, the owner was going to replace his banjo player and his piano player. And so I walked in to try out or to play, see how I played with this new piano player that he had hired. Well, got in there, and I was a lanky kid back in the 70s. It was 1971. Long hair, platform shoes, bell bottoms, the whole 9 yards. And the guy who walks in and gets up on the bandstand and sits down at the piano is this cowboy with short hair and a cowboy hat. And he looked at me and I looked at him, and we started shaking our heads like this is never going to work. And he said, well, son, what would you like to play? What do you know? And I said, how about Waiting for the Robert E. Lee? And his eyes brightened up. And we had a 7-year stint there at Shakey's and had a great time. Think about old Wayne and that first time that I played with him. So here's Waiting for the Robert E. Lee for you. Robert E. Lee for you. Okay. Next tune I'd like to do here on tenor banjo is Avalon. Love to play this tune. Love to play it with my jazz band, and it's just a cool tune. It's got a nice groove to it. So, okay, John, I'm sounding okay. All right, good deal. So here's Avalon. There we go. Avalon for you. I'll do another one here. It's an arrangement that I did, and some people think it's a little too modern-esque sounding, but I kind of like it. And it's an old favorite. It's called My Old Kentucky Home. I kind of like to call it My Old Kentucky Home Blues a little bit here. there's my old Kentucky home for you. I'm going to switch horses here for a minute. You know, we say that here in Texas a lot. So I'm going to play a little bit on plectrum, and we'll do some kind of different things. Here's ye old plectrum banjo. This is an ohm. I call it Frankie, short for Frankenstein. When Chuck put this together for me, he kind of did something that I don't know that he ever had done before. It's got a turquoise blue and purple on it. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it. Yeah. And anyway, it's got the bright angel inlay of the stars and the planets on it, and inline tuners and the minstrel headstock. So hang on a minute. I'm going to see if a cup of coffee will help my voice here. Okay, here's a pop tune. If you're a trop rocker, you probably will get a kick out of this tune. You know, there are some songs that sound really good with banjo that are popular tunes, typically that we don't think about as being a banjo song. And a lot of times it's hard for a lot of us banjo players to turn those into something. But I try to be real careful about some of the things that I choose, and I try to choose things that tend to work for the banjo. So here's one, an old Jimmy Buffett favorite called Margaritaville. Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bathe. All of them tourists covered with oil, strumming my four-string on my back porch swing, smelling them shrimp there beginning to boil. We stayed away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, and I know, well, it's nobody's fault, no. I don't know the reason, been here all season. Nothing is sure but this brand new tattoo. It's a real beauty, a Mexican cutie. How it got here, well, I haven't a clue now. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, and I know, well, it could be my fault, yeah. wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shade of salt. Yeah. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, and I know, well, it's nobody's fault, no. And I know, well, it could be my fault, yeah. And I know, it's my own damn fault. Hey, Jason, is it cold up there? A little bit of Margaritaville for you. Now I'm going to do one that's one of those tunes that you would not think that the plectrum banjo works with, quite frankly. I was a little leery of this. Creedence Clearwater Revival did this tune. It was popular when I was, growing up and enjoying that kind of music and doing that kind of music. And this one's called Proud Mary. So here's Proud Mary on the plectrum banjo. We'll see how this works out. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost a minute of sleeping, worrying about the way things might have been. Creedence Clearwater Revival, a little bit of Proud Mary for you. Hope y'all sang Rolling on the River a little bit with me. Now, y'all, if you want to jump in and sing some of these that you know, just join right in because, nobody's going to hear you. So, isn't it great? I teach these classes on Zoom, and some of my band classes and stuff. And, of course, we can't play together. So all I can do is play through, a rhythm part or whatever. And I just tell, all the kids, okay, you're at home. Mute your button. I can't hear you. Just play along with me. It's easy. Wow. Virtual practice. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch back over to tenor banjo now. And this song that I'm going to do for you on tenor banjo is kind of cool. It's an old traditional jazz tune, and we used to do it at Shakey's Pizza Parlor, like I was talking about earlier at the beginning of our little broadcast here. And Annie, I'm definitely more comfortable on tenor for sure. Anyway, it's called "Is It True What They Say About Dixie?" And back when we were playing at Shakey's back in the day, there's a line in that song that goes, "Do folks keep eating cotton? Do folks keep eating?" Well, now my wife just brought me in something to drink, so now I've totally lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Do folks keep eating possum till they can't eat no more? There we go. So we used to substitute, do folks keep eating Shakey's pizza till they can't eat no more? Sell a few more pizzas, Yeah, that works. Well, Marla Spohr, a lot of you probably know her. She's a great banjo player and was also my bass player for many, many, many years. And we used to play a lot of gigs together. And we had a duo gig that we did, banjo and bass, at a steak and seafood restaurant up in Addison, Texas. And so I was up there, and of course, like most jazz musicians, we don't always know what we're going to do when we start to play, and we're thinking while we're playing what we're going to do, which can many times be very dangerous, And anyway, I was thinking as we were playing this tune, I was like, what can I put in that line? Do folks keep eating possum till they can't eat? Well, Shakey's Pizza's not going to work here. Steak. Oh, yeah. Do folks keep eating steak till they can't eat no more? Well, that kind of lays there like a piece of meat, It just doesn't do much. So I thought some more. I thought, seafood. Yeah, seafood's got 2 syllables, works in there great. So maybe I'll sing, do folks keep eating seafood till they can't eat no more? Well, then I looked down at a guy who we were playing by their table, and he had this big catfish on his plate. And it wasn't the kind of fried catfish like the pieces you see. The whole thing was laid out there, man, eyes and everything. I can't do that. I'm from Texas. We eat beef down here. Anyway, so do folks keep eating catfish till they can't eat no more? That was, okay, that will work. So is it going to be seafood or is it going to be catfish? So I came up on the line and I sang, do folks keep eating cat food till they can't eat no more? No, my screen didn't freeze. That's what I sang. Everybody died laughing. It was hilarious. And that was not a joke. It really happened. But I always have to tell it before I play this tune because I never know what's going to come out when I get to that spot in the song. So here's Is It True What They Say About Dixie? Is it true what they say about Dixie? Does that sun really shine all the time? Or do the sweet magnolias blossom around everybody's door? Do folks keep eating that possum till they can't eat no more? Is it true what they say about Shawnee? By that stream so sublime, oh, do they laugh, oh, do they love, like they say in every song? If it's true, that's where I belong. Is it true what they say about Swanee? Is that dream by that stream so sublime? Oh, do they laugh, oh, do they love, like they say in every song? If it's true, that's where I belong. If it's true, that's where I belong. Is it true what they say about Dixie? Great old tune. Great old tune. Here's a tune that I wrote. Yeah, I've got a couple that I wrote in this little thing I'm doing tonight. So yeah, I'll do that. Here's one called Boogie On Down to Big Bend. Now I have to tell you, this was written. My wife and I used to do quite a bit of long distance motorcycle riding, and I did an album called Enjoy the Ride, and it's got places, songs about places that we rode to that were just really beautiful across the United States. So anyway, this one's called I'm Gonna Boogie On Down to Big Bend. As I carry my load when we boogie on down to Big Bend. I wanna mount my ride in the morning. I'm gonna scoot out without no warning. I hope the ride never ends as I roll with my friends and we boogie on down to Big Bend. I got a hankering to ride down the open road with the motor maxing out in overload, screaming down the mountain as the sun goes down, and finally pulling into that old ghost town. I'm on a boogie on down to Big Bend. I tear up to Lingua with a bunch of my friends. I hope the ride never ends as I roll with my friends and we boogie on down to Big Bend. the mountain as the sun goes down, and finally pulling into that old ghost town. Gonna boogie on down to Big Bend. I'll tear up Toledo with a bunch of my friends. I hope the ride never ends as I roll with my friends and we boogie on down to Big Bend. I hope the ride never ends as I roll with my friends. We boogie on down to Big Bend. Yeah. Boogie on down to Big Bend on the Enjoy the Ride album. Order it online. Okay. I'm going to switch back over to Plectrum for a couple of tunes and do those. Here's a tune that I wrote. It's on the same album, as a matter of fact. It's called West Texas Highway, and of course that's kind of where I'm from. So this is a nice tune. Big skies stretching forever, warm winds blow against my face. Riding down the road is a dream, mile after mile on my cruising machine. Her throttle's open wide, I've been looking to ride. Her engine's starting to scream. Rolling down that West Texas highway, thinking I won't pass this way again. Rolling down that West Texas highway, knowing where my heart has always been. Sunset on the horizon, stars shine through the evening dusk. Mesquite trees flying by in the night, spinning wheels coming closer to daylight. My eyes open wide, feeling inside like an eagle soaring in flight. Rolling down that West Texas highway, thinking I won't pass this way again. Rolling down that West Texas highway, knowing where my heart has always been. Rolling down that West Texas highway, thinking I won't pass this way again. Rolling down that West Texas highway, knowing where my heart has always been. So there's one, and that's kind of where I'm from. What I had a lot of fun doing for years. Playing the banjo, riding motorcycles, and chasing tornadoes. Yeah, and playing with trains. I like to do that too. Matter of fact, playing with trains. Well, yeah, I guess I could do that one. Here's a tune that I wrote. It's on my latest album, which is the Traveling Man album. It's called Night Train. And it's not the night train that, yeah, I know that one too. But this is one that I wrote. And it's a little different. Let's see if I can do it, if I can remember it. As I sit here looking at the silent shadows on a January night, southbound train comes whistling down the line. Out of the north, I catch a glimmer, showing me a brand new sight. The loneliness I feel makes me know I won't be seeing you again tonight. Taking the night train, headed out of town. Taking the night train away from you. Taking the night train going new places. Yesterday was old, tomorrow is new. I'm on the night train. The clock is ticking fast, I feel your love's getting away from me. I know it's been coming a long, long time. I hear your voice faint in the distance, calling me one last time. I'll never forget the love we shared as I travel farther down the line. Taking the night train, headed out of town. Taking the night train away from you. Taking the night train going new places. Yesterday was old, tomorrow is new. I'm on the night train. 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 Taking the night train, headed out of town. Taking the night train away from you. Taking the night train going new places. Yesterday was old, tomorrow is new. I'm on the night train. 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 All right. Karen likes that one. All right. Yeah, I do too. It's a pretty good tune, actually. Turned out okay. Let's see. I've got time probably for a couple more. So I think I'll do that for you. I'll switch back over to tenor and play a couple of tunes on tenor that are probably old favorites of a bunch of you guys out here. I don't want to throw too much of my original stuff down your throat when this is a jazz banjo radio showcase, you know. Gotta do some jazz in there, you know. Okay. Karen, thanks for the water. Coffee always does that to me. Okay. Well, here's one that I teach a lot of my students when they're first learning to play chord melody on the banjo and play solos and things, because it's one that everybody learns. If they don't learn it first, it's usually in those first two or three. So I'm going to play it for you. Most people play it in C, banjo players. I honestly believe that was because the chord melody version of that lays really, really well on plectrum in C. But honestly, on tenor, I like the key of F for that song, and it is Bye Bye Blues. So I'm going to do a little bit of Bye Bye Blues for you. We'll see how we're doing here. that's a little bit different. Anyway, there's a little bit of Bye Bye Blues for you. I'll finish it off tonight with one of my favorite traditional jazz tunes. Boy, you get a good 6 or 7 piece Dixieland band playing this tune, and it can get really hot. Yeah, it can get really hot. And I heard the Jim Cullum Jazz Band do this on one of their albums many, many years ago, and I was like, I got to turn that into a banjo solo because that is a great tune. It's called Swing That Music. Okay, let's see what I can come up with here. Gets a thrill, my feet won't stand still. Gives me a chill when they swing that music. Rhythm like this puts me in a trance. You can't blame me for wanting to dance. I hope you understand the feeling's just grand. You sing with this band and swing that music. I'm as happy as I can be when they swing that music for me. Here we go. There we go. Swing That Music. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did tonight. And be safe, be well, and have fun with your banjo. I want to thank John again, John Mumford, and the Jazz Banjo Radio Showcase for sponsoring some of us getting out here and playing for you folks during these times. Thanks a lot. So, all my best. Good night.